Start.
So, Rima, topic is Braham Aakash. Okay. Suppose this is our space, and I am showing in a bounded manner, but I should not show it like that, because this space has no energy, no mass. That is, it is limitless. Okay. It cannot be defined, differentiated. It has no meaning, no energy, no mass, so it is infinite. I want to give meaning to this space. So energy can give meaning to this space, prima facie. Okay. So energy actually limit the space. Its boundaries limit the space. Okay. The presence of energy in this inner boundary differentiate from the outer limitless space. Okay. But you can see outer space is still limitless, and howsoever this boundary is big, inner space is very limited one, compared to this outer limitless space. Okay. One problem. Second problem is that level of energy inside this space theoretically it can be very low. What is theoretically is zero, close to zero, limit E tending to zero in this closed space. It may happen, but even in this limit, boundary should exist so that inner space can be differentiated from the outer space. In these limiting conditions, when energy tend to zero inside the space, energy is represented solely by this boundary surface. Okay. Then this boundary is the minimum amount of energy that can differentiate inner space and outer space, and in this context inner space properties will be very similar to the outer space property, because energy inside the space is nearly zero. Okay. But even in this condition, boundary represent energy. However, howsoever it is small, in it may be zero inside the space, but surface should have some energy even in that case. Inner space, outer space having same property may be considered same space, but this boundary gives meaning to whole space. Okay. Whole of the space. So energy in minimal sense can be represented by this boundary. Okay. But even this boundary, it seems that inside space, which has same property as the outer space, because inside space there is no energy, no mass, here also no energy, no mass, but a boundary creates a magnitude problem. Is that inner space is limited. Okay. Although property is same, without property both spaces, no energy, no mass, but it is limited. Outer space is unlimited. So even this closed boundary tends to differentiate this space in a very contrasted way. So what we want to differentiate this limitless space, but not like this contrasted way, inside limited, outside unlimited. Okay. So we should remove this closed surface. Okay. Cut this closed surface. Once you cut this closed surface, then energy may best be represented by something like a open 3D surface. Okay. Open 3D surface. and this surface may have an open 3D surface, general surface. Actually, whether you see this side or this side, both will be unlimited space. Unlimited space. Whether this space, this side you see or this side you see. Okay. So now this open 3D surface actually differentiate whole of the space, and of course these two parts of the space, for example outside curvature, inside curvature, outside curvature, are actually comparable. Okay, both are limitless. So this is the minimal way. But what is the now any 3D surface, any 3D open surface can actually be formed by a 2D sheet, a linear 2D sheet. Okay, by giving vibrations, many types of 3D projections can be created. By giving vibrations to these 2D sheets, many surfaces may be created of different type, of different shape. Okay, by giving it this 2D sheet vibration. So any which represents this shape may fit, this shape may fit, this may fit. Okay, infinite number of shapes may fit by by fluctuation of this basic 2D sheet. This basic 2D flat sheet is graviton sheet. It is the representation of basic energy. When you and fluctuation, different types of fluctuations may cover many sheets, may cover this shape also, this shape also, this shape also. Okay, so what is exact shape? We don't know. Shape may be this, but many of these shapes can be represented by fluctuation of these 2D graviton sheets. Okay. In theoretically we can say that a fluctuating 2D graviton sheet may represent more shapes, compared to non-fluctuating 2D graviton sheet. Okay, so fluctuating 2D graviton sheet may represent many shapes at different moments. Okay, but how this fluctuation occurs and what is the degree of this fluctuation? Because if we represent this 2D flat sheet as single line, then this fluctuation can be something like that. Okay, this fluctuation can be like that, this fluctuation can be like that, or a combination of that. Nah. So many possible combinations in this flat sheet may produce all the possible shapes. Okay, but these many possible combinations of vibrations can effect may be realized in this single sheet if we think that whole of the space is composed of such flat sheets. Okay, and these all sheets are interacting, so that in each sheet we see these types of fluctuations, so that each sheet may take all the possible shapes or many possible shapes. Okay, but each sheet will take all these possible shapes only when we have different Akash is filled with 2D sheets, fluctuating sheets, and these sheets, at least adjacent sheets, are interacting directly. Okay, interacting directly. Okay, so what is Akash? In this basic figure, then okay, then what is Akash, cameraman? Now we have Akash. Akash is flat sheets, fluctuating graviton sheets. Okay, and in these fluctuating graviton sheets, it takes all possible vibrations, any sheet. Okay, because this sheet interacts with adjacent sheet. One interacts with two, sometimes it interacts with three, sometimes four, it interacts with five. Five may interact with six. So there may be interactions short range, that is adjacent, and long range. Okay, and it creates random vibrations, all possible shapes, random vibrations. Okay, because of interaction. But these vibrations, each sheet has random vibrations, and interactions themselves are random, so that each sheet may have all possible shape. Okay, and with equal probability. Okay, each sheet. So these interactions are random. These random interactions, both short range and long range, random interactions are actually unconscious. This is the state of unconsciousness of Akash. Okay, but somehow in this random, so in effect, so for example, I have a single seat and adjacent seats, consider only adjacent seats. One will interact with two, one will may now interact with three, may interact with four, all these interactions, two will interact with five, all these. In these interactions, no net information in one is accumulated. No net information on an average, no net change in this sheet permanent structure, or any particular vibrations, propensity or more probability to any particular type of vibration is not achieved because of this randomness. Okay, so we say that no net message transfer, no net message transfers to this sheet, no net information transfer. Okay, because information is a organized form of vibration which may sustain. Okay, so no, this is the state of no message, no information, but interaction is there. This is unconscious Akash. Okay, cameraman. But even in this unconscious Akash, interactions between vibrating sheets creates Akash, unconscious Akash. But even in this stage, there are chances that all the sheets are busy in random interactions, but there may be only three sheets where one has to interact with two only, two has to interact with three only. Okay, and similar. So this is so a direction is created. Direction is created, which is first information. First information. Okay. Second, now once the vibrations take direction, fourth sheet is also busy. So now third sheet vibrations will revert back to 3, 2, 1 because all other sheets are busy. So second thing created is sustainability, which creates, that is, energy transfer in linear way, and it is reflected back in a linear fashion back. Okay, it creates memory. Sustainability means it creates memory. Okay, so direction and memory creates first level of consciousness. Okay, so structure in this random Akash is created between these three seeds. Okay. Now they may have a certain degree of probability, that more probability that it has certain type of vibration which travels in straight line, whether in this direction or in this direction. Okay. Similarly, Akash, once this sustainable memorized disturbance, linear disturbance, we call it light pulse, is the first micro level consciousness. Okay. Similar things, this organization may lead to other organization in other parts also. So this differentiation, so whole of the Akash in effect may have many micro light pulses, okay, traveling in different directions, of course in interaction. These interacting light pulses at the level of Akash is the biggest conscious interaction, which is called Brahma. Which is called Brahma. Okay. So Brahma is the large scale, means it is everywhere in Akash, but it is a creation of Akash, but it is the ultimate consciousness, because all are interlinked. So Brahma is composed of interactions between many consciousness which are infinite in numbers. Okay. But these micro conscious light pulses may themselves collide to form atoms, as I've shown in previous episode. Na? Field of nucleus surrounded by field of negative massless particles. Na? So atom is the higher level of consciousness, and these atoms interact with, okay, these atoms interact with, create mass. What create? Mass. This is another level. And similarly, when light is not present, sheets are flat, of course vibrating. The fluctuation of light in a particular direction changes the structure. So on an average, surrounding mass, because energy is stored here, number of seats, in effect total number of seats increases surrounding mass and decreases on an average with the distance. So gravitational field and mass is the third level of consciousness. In effect, in Akash, various steps light in random space. First, consciousness forming atom and mass and gravitational field. Second level of consciousness at different points, okay, in this random Akash. And third is light itself colliding in deep space or in random Akash. And all are in interaction, complex interaction, and whole of this complex interaction at the level of Akash is Brahma. Okay, is Brahma. But at the beginning, Akash was purely random, of course, unconscious state. Okay, but a degree of consciousness emerges in a micro level, and this consciousness now covers whole of Akash with different degree of layers and of consciousness and interacting with it. Okay. So with the passage of time, level of consciousness increases. Brahma, which is interaction at the Akash level, that is more and more structures present and all structures are interacting, whether light, whether mass and gravity, na? Other different structures also of quantum physics, na? All these interactions and coordination increases, but all these things increases at the cost of random Akash. Okay, so as the consciousness or Brahma increases, mass and gravity also increases, collision of photons also increases, organization increases, but boundary of Akash, random boundary of Akash shrinks. Random boundary of Akash shrinks. Okay, when consciousness of Brahma is at maximum, we reach a point of singularity. Okay, this is highest level of consciousness, and all these things is happening because mass and energy most dense. So it all is happening by Einstein equation E बराबर mc square. Random energy is converted into organized more and more mass. Okay, this is highest level of consciousness, highest level of coordination. Okay, after this highest level of coordination, a sheet is interacting with different sheets, but in a conscious way. But degree of consciousness is so high and degree of interactions and frequency is so high that ultimately after this highest level of consciousness, each individual seed behavior looks like that. In effect, it receives no message and it behaves in its behavior tends to go into random direction, so that whatever complex interactions it is sustaining is being lost. Now, once this phenomena reverses, highest level of Brahma or consciousness changes abruptly into Akash, unconscious state. This change is known as Big Bang. This change is known as
Big
Bang, where highest level of consciousness destroys all the information itself, and all these information destroyed, that is creating random information with more and more increasing space, increasing Akash. So level of consciousness decreases as and degree of mass decreases by the equation E बराबर mc square. But that is what Roger Penrose is saying. Penrose is saying that Big Bang is not the end. Point of singularity. Big Bang happened. Now in today's world, universe is expanding. Okay, so Akash is expanding. Randomness is expanding. Okay, mass and gravity decreasing. Akash is increasing. In today's phase, entropy increases, disordered increases. But once the entropy become maximum, Akash become maximum, everything random, then reverse happen and consciousness re-emerges at the micro level and Brahma become more and more conscious. So opposite process will take place and we will return to the point of singularity. Okay, in this contracting universe, laws of thermodynamics, especially related to entropy, may revert, and in this phase of universe where universe is contracting, entropy from maximum to minimum may decrease. So it is a cyclic process. Okay, it is a cyclic process. And how light vibrations in graviton sheets, okay, when collide, when vibrations are limited, up down. So, for example, there are two vibrations of light sheets. Cameraman, positive, negative. This is mean graviton sheet level. positive, negative, positive, negative. These traveling vibrations, positive becomes negative and negative become positive. So there is no net deflection on an average in a particular part of sheet. But when these photons collide, P1 and P2, these photons collide, then new structure emerges, next level of consciousness. Now, so these vibrations, since they are not able to propagate, these vibrations closes. Okay, so positive vibrations close, negative vibrations close. Something like positron electron pair is created, but they are forming a single system. Okay, in effect, these are closed. No, these are closed, but still they may show some vibrations, degree of coordination. One of the type of coordination is that all positive charges form nucleus field and negative massless vibrations form, this is electron field. Okay, this is electron field, and these negative particles may be vibrating as a whole because vibrations are there. They are made from vibrations. So these closed structures may be vibrating on whole. This may create electric field. This may create electric field because if we have some type of imaginary surface, then these massless particles may create some type of pressure. Okay, electric field or standing wave type nature. Similarly, individual negative charges may not be pure rigid spheres. Okay, they may not be pure rigid spheres. They may itself, if not moving, if they are, of course they are moving as a whole in combination or down, but individually the negative massless boundary are itself vibrating, vibrating. This is second type of vibration, and overall these structural vibrations may create another feature, which is magnetic field. Okay, this is magnetic field. Similarly, two negative vibrations, for example, somehow one negative vibration opens out so that it is able to propagate like a light, and comes closer to other negative vibration which is closed, and now it again closes. Okay, so you will see that these negative vibrations are diffusing. So diffusion is a third type of future. Okay, diffusion is a third type of future. So what you can see is that in a negative, in this electron field, in a particular volume, you can see a net diffusion. Diffusion of these negative massless particles. This is third feature. And these negative massless particles diffusion may recombine, overlap. This is extra order of consciousness. Extra structure is created. This is mass. This is cloud mass. Okay. There may be point where most of the negative massless particles are fusing. Okay, this is electron, and where minor particles are, less particles are in overlapping, this is cloud. Okay, so in effect all these things features, electron and its cloud is made up of negative massless particle superimposition. Okay, so we should balance, and this major mass defines the system as position x with potential energy x. Okay, whole of the system. So negative massless particle density at this point may be represented at psi xt. Okay, and this can change with the passage of time by of natural diffusion of negative massless particle by minus d over square over x square of psi xt human dimension. This mass may move velocity v, so that negative massless particles interact and rebound term v terms. So v times velocity may be represented by ux, potential energy, and collisions may be represented by degree of number of massless particles. Okay, this is second term of Schrodinger equation. A third term emerges, that is negative massless particles, one moving with mass and other diffusing, may create cloud. Na? This is third term, which is spin term. Okay, that is some collisions will produce mass. So this will decrease the number. Overall, in dense calculation, this will decrease the number. How decrease? Velocity of mass again be represented by ux, and concentration and velocity of massless particle will now be represented by its diffusion rate, because we are talking here of effective collisions. Okay, diver by diver x of psi xt. Here in this term, linear differentiation with respect to x, it is Dirac. It is Dirac. This term combination with second term produces Dirac equation. First equation combination with second term double derivative and without any single derivative created Schrodinger equation. Okay, but three terms are necessary to create the whole equation, which is Schrodinger Dirac equation I talked about in previous episode. Okay, so that is how different types of fields emerges from this single entity of Akash. Na? Random Akash create different types of field. When light collide, atoms are formed, and when atoms as a whole, okay, mass is formed and gravitational field is formed. Actually, when light travels between A and B, there is one seat, for example, on an average. When light travels, number of seats increases. When light passes, again number of seats decreases. It goes to the environment. Okay, cameraman. But if this process becomes reversible, that it lies, passes, goes, then on an average number of seats increases. Okay, not only between A and B, but also in surrounding space. Okay, mass is just the same thing. Average number of graviton seats increases, not only in mass where atoms are formed, but also in surrounding space. Number of seats increases because in effect seats are strings, change into 3D projections, and this increase decreases. This is mass graviton structure. This is gravitational field emerges from the Akash. Okay, when two vibrations on two seats collide, we form atom and electron field. Electron field is nothing but Higgs negative massless particles. Okay, so this electron field. So this is second type of field is created. Okay, when all these negative particles vibrate in a direction, electric field. This is third type of field. All is created from Akash. Okay, these particles may itself have inherent vibrations. Okay, these inherent vibration adjusting with this inherent vibration by this thread creates magnetic field. Okay, second type. These particles are diffusing, and when two particles overlap, they create mass. It is called Higgs field. What called? Higgs field. So all these fields can be created from Akash, and Akash basic quantum element is fluctuating graviton seat, which is in random interaction with other fluctuating graviton seats. And in this random interactions with other all sheets interacting in a random way, it is called Akash or maximum entropy stage. Okay, but maximum organization happens, Brahma's consciousness increases and complexity increases, and at lowest entropy we got point of singularity. Okay, but this maximum consciousness revert back to Akash because consciousness decreases, and this is the process of increasing of randomness or expanding universe, so that entropy increases. We are in the phase of increasing entropy, expanding universe. But once initial Akash is achieved, we will be in the phase of contracting universe, that is decreasing entropy. Okay, that is increasing consciousness. Today we are towards overall unorganization. Mass is being created into randomness, energy, thermal radiation, all these things, increasing Akash. So we are in the phase of increasing entropy or decreasing consciousness of Brahma. This is Akash Brahma philosophy, and it may provide a unified quantum philosophy, unified field. The vision of Einstein and other quantum scientists like Erwin Schrödinger and Heisenberg and many others. Of course, diagrams are something you can say. Richard Feynman's great soul is directing me, but I am a layman. I am not that level. But somehow with these figures and giving seeing energy as a physical shape, random vibrating surface, we can explain Brahma Akash philosophy or unified field. We can move to a unified field theory. Of course, these figures have to be translated into exact mathematical equations. Of course, general relativity or tensor equations of general Einstein tensor equation and quantum physics Dirac equation, all these things have to be merged, but in a more closer way, so that Brahma Akash duality can be achieved, and we can explain the system expanding universe as an increasing entropy system, and that universe revert back and will point towards singularity, that is decreasing entropy system after maximum entropy is reached. As Roger Penrose is saying, Big Bang is not the only step. Before Big Bang there was singularity, but before that singularity there was another Big Bang. And after Big Bang is not the end. After maximum entropy, we will be moving toward pre-Big Bang direction in reverse direction. Okay? And similarly, a two-dimensional sheet may explain the energy. Vibrating two-dimensional sheet may have all the information needed to create the universe, of course interacting with other two-dimensional vibrating sheets. Holographic principle of Leonard Susskind, 1997. Of course, Stephen Hawking's surfaces may also be remembered. Great Stephen Hawking. So this is a tribute from a layman to the great quantum scientist and all the students and honorary professors across the world. Now, I want to give a tribute, some type of tribute from layman. I outside the person, outside university person, with cameraman Rivaj as well. I am Manish as well. Arkanya Chora, Muttiganj, Prayagraj, house number 869, UP, India. And I love world and I hate war. I like diversity of opinion. 6 systems of Indian philosophy are Sufism, Buddhism, all these philosophies actually unify us towards unified field philosophy. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Vish. Thank you, sir. Okay, cameraman. Thank you.
Thank you.